Dustin here with Empty Box today, working on a roofing claim. So I kind of already got the sketch going here. So that's the roof. And on this side comes from a roofer report is where it's at. So this kind of just gives the measurements. There's some pitches below as well. I got a photo report. This one's pretty good. I would say probably if I were to ask for anything extra from the contractor, like that's a decent overview shot there. But I would say like from the rooftop, like these are all still pretty what I would call like close-ups or mid-range photos, and having some overview shots from the roof would be a little better, but this is pretty good. So it's not horrible by any means. But they're kind of going through, this was a hail claim, pretty decent sized hail on this one. And what we're going to do today is supplement what they already approved. So these are in Xactimate the approved line items from the carrier so far. So I'm basically just going to kind of move these now after having copied them already. So I'm going to put this in the sketch I just created. I usually will create like a little F9 note here and call it carrier approved line items, and then bold that. And then I usually make sure on this side bolded as well, just so that for sure it's there. And then I'll drop those line items here for the carrier approved. And then I would create another heading below that called supplement line items and bold that. And then go here like that. And then I'm going to grab both of these. Whoops. I'm going to grab this one and copy, and then I'm going to drop it in all of these and go paste like that. And that should give me, yep, exactly. So now I can slide that there. And I may not supplement anything on these, but just to kind of create structure so far is my goal. So I can come back through these quickly in a second, and I'll move these folders under my sketch area as well in a moment. So it looks like that, and looks like that. Okay, so that's the structure of it. And then we're going to move these down under main level, and then I can get rid of this old one here like that. Okay, so now we have kind of the structure of the estimate. I'm going to move this up to the top. And this just affects how the actual estimate is going to show up on the PDF once it's exported. So that just kind of gives order. So this is the exact order that the carrier estimate was in. And so I'm going to kind of follow their structure as the main goal. Okay, so the roof is there. So now I have photos to go off of and start updating things. And in the system, note, we actually got 22 gauge is the actual metal being used, and I think they bid for 29. Yeah, 29 gauge. So this will get updated to 22 gauge, which it is more expensive. I think right now it's at, like, if I remember looking, it was $540 per unit, and I believe in the 22 gauge it was like $9. So per lineal foot you're getting almost $4 extra essentially. So that'll be important to update. And then they had emergency tarping done on 519, and just to say that they had water coming inside. So we're going to do an emergency tarp. I don't believe I saw that on here, so I'm going to start that as the first line item just so it's known right out the gate. And we'll go like this. There's two things I'll apply with sandbags. We'll probably go like this, and then emergency service call like that, and then I'll go like this, and I'll just call it a 10 by 20 like that. Okay, so that gets rid of that portion, and I think I'm going to go like this. Like that, and I'll get to this in a second, so I'm not going to resolve that yet. Okay, so we did that portion first. Go back to the roof, And I'm probably gonna do, make sure these things got covered. So they have roof vent, 2 of them, which I can't really say much about that. And then that little extension is metal. I'm guessing that's the shed then, is right here. So they did technically bid for it. I'll come back and look and see if there's anything missing on that I want. But while I'm here, I'll just change these to the 22 gauge. And I believe there's actually not technically the right line item in here. I think you have to call it 24. Yeah, they don't have the right line item. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to call this plus. And that kind of just gets that where it needs to be because they don't have the right line item here. So we're going to go like that and then go like this and go like that. So that looks better there. And then we'll see if this has, there's no version there. Then this one we need to go. And that is corrugated. So that actually, we'll see what the price comes out to. So they did metal standard. It was $772, but technically it's a 22. So we'll go down here. Like that. Like that. So that should have taken that where it needs to be. And that looks good there too. Okay, so that gets us there. And then I don't think they did this portion. This would be like an AC thing. So let's see what they did here. Yeah, they didn't. So we'll grab this. And that's going to be AC. There should be a cover. I don't think that's the right one. Yeah, that's not the right one. It's called like a... I definitely can get that though. So we'll take that one. Let me just grab that one first. And I'll go GC 1.5 hours. And then I'll make an F9 note here called wire brush and repaint AC cage cover. Okay. So that deals with those ones. Let's see what they're looking at here. Looks like drip edge, some of the siding. Maybe they're looking at this portion there. As that paint definitely got it. And we might call that left elevation. So let me look and see. Oh, so they're saying there was more damage. So I'm probably going to actually add all sides to the home is what I'm going to do. And usually the easiest way for me to find that is go like this. Is something to do perimeter. So I'm going to do drip edge. Oops, my bad. It goes RFG drip and then P. So 319 is what it's saying is the perimeter of the whole thing. So what I would do is go over here and I'm going to recreate exterior elevations. I'm going to drop this under that. I'll probably just put that under it too. Okay, so then make sure they have paint wood. Okay, so they already did paint wood, so we'll go like this. We'll go like this. And the math would be 319 times 8. So that gives that minus 250. Gives that. So that's technically the square footage. Let me just double check that. We'll do 322.96 because that's what they said. Okay, so that gives the painting of all that. And then technically we should get like this. What's it called? Nah, it's called, I think it's CLN. HP. There we go. And this will be the same. It's actually 322.96 times 8. So that gives that. Grab this. And just put the supplement title on top of that. And that kind of gives perspective. Okay, so I like that. That gives those things. Let's see what they did for the gutters. That looks pretty fair. And then, so they did already cover that. We did cover that. We started to get the gauge. So I'm guessing the shop has this too. Yeah, it does. So then we're going to go these two same. Okay, so I'm going to actually bring in this one. This one, this one, this one. Go C, shop, down here. And I think I need to, I'm going to move these down under here. Okay, so that looks good. And then these ones are good. So I'm just going to match these up here, 265631. And then the eave is 88.54. And the gable is 120. Okay, so I can get rid of that. Like that. And then this one needs to update. To 24 gauge. Put that there. It's technically 22. And we need to update this. Like that. Okay, so that looks good. And that'll cover kind of all those. Let me double check here. Okay. So a lot of times if you're going to be looking at space decking for nails, you need to get a measurement of what that is and see if it meets the code. It looks like these are probably fine to be reused, but that's how you would do it. Like this gap is kind of questionable where it would need a redeck. So I personally probably would put it on because a nail could fit through that, and I can't see the rest of them, so I would have to assume that some of them are like that, which makes this like you can't nail to this surface per code. So I'm probably going to do that, but let me just run through these real quick and see if there's anything else to add. This section looks like it's missing some trim, so that technically should have had like counter. Maybe it looks like it was wood probably, but I can do some counter flashing there. And we'll just call it that. And I'll say there's two sides of that 1326 lineal feet, I'm pretty sure is what it would be. And it's missing already, probably from the storm, so we'll just go replace like that. And then, so there's technically supposed to be a transition here between those two. So I should be able to have, I think it's called, pitch transition flashing, and we'll go like that. So this is technically the line item for that, and I would do, I think that was 17 lineal feet. And then you can also do ice and water here. So I'll go RFG ice and water shield, and then do 17 times 3. So those should be all right there, because that's how that technically should be done. And then this is just showing the damage of the hail. That's pretty substantial, to be honest. And then this was the other side of the one I did the counter flashing on. And that's probably what it looked like beforehand, is it had a board there. So I guess I can just change this to FNC, or it's actually probably, well, it's siding. Let me think. We'll go like this, SVG. Trim, okay, here we go. And it's it's like a 1x4. It's 26. Okay, so we changed that to just 1x4 because that's what's there. And then let's see what else we got going. I think they did the siding pretty good in the spot they were going to replace. That was, yeah, lap pattern. That looks fine. I wouldn't worry about that. And then I think based on the photos I got, I'm going to probably call that. Okay, so let's do a full redeck just because of the pictures in the attic. Even though we don't have the tape measure to show what it is, I think that it's enough to at least get it there, at least to be in the conversation at minimum. So we'll go like that, square footage, like that. Then I'll say, we can technically just go over what's there. So we'll go replace, and then I'll just call it space decking in attic. All right, that should be fine there. And I think that gets it where we want it. Let me just double check a few things. Okay, so the gutter looks good. There's gutter guard. I don't know if they put that on there, did they? Oh, they did. Okay. All right, cool. So that's that. And then that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. What is going on right there? Okay. All right, so I think based on all that, that's probably about what I got. That covers the gauge. So I did all those. I did all the photos. And then on this side, let's just double check everything. So I want to do supplement. Oops. Like that. Supplement. And then I just want to check one more. I always do this for myself. So I always like to bid what I see, what I get info-wise. I feel like to me, that's just more of an ethics thing, like bid what you have. But just for checks and balances, I like to just drop just get a macro drop so I can kind of catch anything that might have, not been on there essentially that I thought should be added after relooking at it. So I'm just going to drop this, and then I'm going to skip all duplicates. And then it'll just kind of give me a perspective near the bottom of anything that I should have maybe added in. Okay, so we'll go over that. I did do that. Oops. Let's get rid of these. And then, okay, so I don't think they did. Oh, they did Hip and Ridge at 74. Okay, that's fine. And then we definitely did that. So technically, step flashing should be a part, and it was in the spots that we had. So we have, let's say 10. Let's see, the other angles were 13, 13, 26. So we're at 36. And then there's that little spot, let's just say 47. So this should give us enough there. That's wood. They did all that. They do pipe jacks. There's no pipe jacks, so let's see if we have pipe jacks up here. Oh, and there's a satellite too. And there's an antenna. I don't see any pipe jacks. That's crazy. How are there no pipe jacks? That sounds crazy. Okay, so you got antenna and that. No pipe jacks. Huh. Okay. So no pipe jacks, but definitely can get that antenna and the. So we'll get rid of those. Was there a cornice anywhere? I don't think I saw one. Nope. Okay, so we can get rid of those. We'll go down to here. And then we can definitely do one of those. There's ELS. Okay, so that gives those. We'll get rid of these. None of those. They did the 7/12 pitch up there, I saw. And then that all looks good. Okay. So just by doing a checks and balance, you catch a couple things. So there was 2 items to catch there. And then we'll go to the shop real quick. I don't really have pictures of that unless this is it. That seems like it's part of the house. So I don't think I have pictures of the shop. So I just have to kind of go with what the carrier did. But we did change that since they measured those. Same thing here, just change that. These were all carrier approved, so I can get rid of this. And then this is actually just the thing there. Get rid of that too. Okay. And then those are all supplements. That looks good. Get rid of that. And then we added those there. Okay. So I think that's good. And then this one does have complexity. Like there is a few things overlapping here. So I'm going to do general conditions. And then I'm also going to make sure this has overhead and profit real quick.